For years, St. Dymphna's Asylum loomed over the hills like a rotting corpse, its windows shattered, its walls covered in creeping ivy. The building stood as a grim reminder of a past filled with unspeakable horrors. The town whispered stories about the horrors that happened there, patients who never left, doctors who went mad, and a warden who disappeared without a trace. The townsfolk avoided the asylum, especially at night. Some said screams could still be heard from the basement, even though the asylum had been abandoned for decades. The basement was a labyrinth of dark, damp corridors where the air was thick with the scent of decay. That was exactly why Jake, Olivia and Mark wanted to explore it. They were thrill-seekers, always looking for the next adrenaline rush. Armed with flashlights and a sense of adventure, they set out to uncover the secrets of the old asylum. Breaking in was too easy. The old iron gates were rusted, the front doors hanging on loose hinges. It was as if the building itself was inviting them in, eager to share its dark history. The smell of mildew, dust and something rancid filled the air as they stepped inside. The walls were covered in mold, and the floor was littered with debris. Every step they took stirred up clouds of dust. The moment they crossed the threshold, the temperature dropped. It was an unnatural cold, the kind that seeped into your bones and made you shiver uncontrollably. "Do you feel that?" Olivia rubbed her arms. Her breath came out in visible puffs, and she could see the fear in her friend's eyes. They all felt it, the oppressive cold, the sense of being watched. "Just the draft," Mark said, stepping ahead with his flashlight. He tried to sound confident, but his voice wavered. The beam of his flashlight cut through the darkness, revealing glimpses of the decaying interior. The hallways were lined with peeling wallpaper, the floor littered with old patient files, each page detailing disturbing cases of violent psychosis. The sight of the wheelchair in the middle of the hall sent a chill down their spines. A wheelchair in the middle of the hall. It hadn't been there when they entered. It was as if the asylum was playing tricks on them, moving objects when they weren't looking. Then, the unmistakable sound of something scraping across the floor. It was a slow, deliberate sound, like nails on a chalkboard. Their hearts pounded in their chests as they strained to listen. "Okay, this is messed up," Jake muttered, his breath coming faster. Olivia and Mark exchanged worried glances, their fear mirrored in each other's eyes. They had come looking for a thrill, but now they were beginning to regret their decision. They stepped into a large room labelled Ward C. Inside, a row of rusted metal-framed beds stretched across the room. Some still had leather restraints. Then Olivia screamed. A figure sat on one of the beds, not moving, a patient's uniform clinging to its skeletal frame. The sight was horrifying, and they could hardly believe their eyes. Its head twitched. Then its mouth moved. "Help! Me!" The voice was barely a whisper, but it sent a jolt of terror through them. The lights flickered, plunging the room into darkness. Then came the footsteps, fast, approaching. Panic set in, and they knew they had to get out of there. Jake grabbed Olivia and Mark, dragging them toward the exit. They ran, their hearts pounding, turning down hallway after hallway. But every turn led them back to the same ward, Ward C. The patient was still there, but now it was standing. "Run!" Mark shouted. They sprinted down the hall, their breaths coming in ragged gasps. They finally found a door, a rusted emergency exit. They shoved through it, stumbling into the night. The cold air was a welcome relief, but the sense of unease lingered. The asylum was silent again, no footsteps, no whispers. It was as if the building had returned to its slumber, content to wait for its next victims. But when they turned to look back, the wheelchair from the hallway was now sitting on the lawn. It was a chilling reminder of what they had just experienced, and it was still rocking. The slow, deliberate movement was a final, haunting message from the asylum. It was a warning to anyone who dared to enter. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe and follow us for more. Join us on TikTok and YouTube for more bone-chilling chronicles, if you dare. The world is full of mysteries and horrors, and we are here to uncover them all. Stay tuned for more tales that will keep you up at night, and remember, sometimes the scariest stories are the ones that are true.